Hello everyone. Today let's take a look at the most important phase of any data-driven project. Yes, you might have guessed it. It is the exploratory data analysis phase, also known as the EDA phase. For any data-driven project, be it a data science or a data analysis project, the success of the project depends on how accurately and meticulously was the EDA phase executed. So today let's take a look at the 6 elements of the exploratory data analysis phase, and by the end of the video you will be very familiar with these 6 elements and you will be able to execute your EDA phase very systematically. I'll also be making a series on detailed coding using the 6 elements of the EDA phase, so do follow along for the series. So let's take a look at it. Okay, so the elements that we're going to cover here did not come in the same specific order. They can come in any specific order, and also they can be repeated, and we'll take a look at multiple scenarios. So let's take a look at the first element, is the discover. So in the discover phase of the EDA phase, we take a look at the data, we take a look at the rows and the columns, we take a look at the different variables and what are the meaning of each element, and we also make a data dictionary in this phase. Basically, we learn more about the data that we are given. What are the variables, what do the column names mean, etc. Then let's take a look at the second element, that is organize. In this phase, we organize or structure our data to make better sense. We do things like grouping our data together, and as we have seen in my previous series, I've covered how we can group by data. So we group our data. We can also group our data by time or periods for time series data, or by different categories to add more sense to the data. The third element is the cleaning phase of the EDA phase. In this, we take a look at the data for inconsistencies, any missing values, any outliers, and fill in the necessary missing values and correct the outliers or any anomalous portions of the data. Then the fourth element is the augment phase. Many a time the data set we are given is not sufficient for data analysis or data modeling. So in the augment phase, we add more rows or more columns to make our data more valuable. Then is the validation phase for whatever changes we make to our data by either removing the missing values or updating them or adding new data or organizing our data. We need to validate that does not introduce any bias or it does not distort the data. And lastly, we have the present phase where we create visualizations to present our findings of the data, and we present this to different stakeholders. Now, as we have discussed earlier, these phases of the EDA phase need not come in the same specific order. They can be toggled around. Different phases can come depending on your data set that is given to you. So let's take a look at scenario 1. In this scenario, your EDA phase can consist of this specific order. For example, first you discover the data and you find that your data has sufficient amount of input, only it needs to be cleaned. You need not organize the data as step number 2. It has enough structure to it. So you clean the data in this case, then you validate whatever you have cleaned, then you organize your data to probably give it a little bit more structure, then again you validate it, and then you augment your data because you feel it needs some more data to make it more valuable, and then finally you create the presentation out of the same. In scenario 2, we have a discover phase. Here we organize our data first, then validate, then again augment, and then again validate and clean, because our data might have not been so messy to begin with. So we can skip the cleaning phase as the step number 2, and we can start with organizing, validation, augmenting the data, and then cleaning, and then presenting the data. In scenario 3, we can have discover phase, cleaning, augment, then present, then organize, and again augment, and again present the data. So you are getting the gist of it by now, is that all these 6 elements can be toggled around. They can be repeated and iterated over, and they can come in any order, whatever makes sense to that specific data set for the data analysis or data science project. I hope you have had a good understanding on how you can augment your EDA process by applying these 6 principles, and by doing it in an iterative fashion, you will have your data set that is very much more valuable and can be used for your next step in your data analysis or your data science project for modeling or further analysis. I do stay tuned. I'll be making a coding series also so that we can understand EDA better. I've covered a lot of topics in my Python and pandas series where I've talked about different elements of pandas, so you can take a look at that pandas series as well. We have covered some topics of EDA there as well. I'll be making another series specifically focused on EDA, so do stay tuned. If you like this video, do leave a like and a comment on my video, and do consider subscribing to my channel for the latest in pandas, Python and data analysis in Python and Excel. Thank you.